But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back right here to the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anchor and I'll be your guide on this lovely 2-hour cruise of CVRcade racing that we're about to head on here on this great Saturday. Earlier this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, we had Zone E, which saw a heavyweight matchup between Homer Thompson and Nils Heldens at the front of the racing. And then we also saw Claudius Kuhn out racing on track. So first time he's dipping his toes in the water. Hopefully we get to see him back for more here as the racing starts to ramp up towards the CVRcade World Cup, the CVRcade Derny Cup, and the CVRcade Solo Cup, for which the prize purses have been announced after being teased this morning. So we'll talk a bit about that as we get ready for the racing. We've got 2 hours of racing ahead of us. We've got Dark Matter Tech up first, then we go to Dust Bowl Crit, Lake Bend, and Country Rally. Now, broadcasting in from across the world, we've got quite an array of people today. We've got Nigel Doyle from New Zealand, Team Velocity Vixen, he's ready. We have Sebastian Kuhn, who's going to show his son from earlier this morning how it's really done. He's getting gelled up, so he's ready for an explosive start. Ben Shuilong, Team Hive, he's ready to race. We've got Tam Burns as well, but I think he's frozen up. Frank Garcia of Team CVR is in here and ready to race, so he's going to bring the firepower. We've got Quinton Molyneux, the Season 1 CVRcade World Cup Grand Finale champion in here. You can see he's ready to go. And then we've got Moti P. Kilney, Team Cognition. I know he's in communication with Homer, with Jonathan. And then last but not least, we have Carl Axel Sander of Sweden, who's just sitting at the start line. And you can see he's just maybe refilling a beat on his there as the hands come in. Let's go and chat to Nigel Doyle, because Nigel, earlier today the prize purses were announced. 30,000 overall prize purse, 15,000 for the Cade World Cup, 10,000 for the Solo Cup, and then you have 5,000 for the Derny Cup. What do you make of that?
It's a lot of money.
Now,
yeah,
in the
wow.
last season, Nigel, you were on the upwards trend. You and Ben towards the end. You got up there. This season, do you think you have what it takes to go up there and grab the big bucks?
Yeah, but I don't think I can do it in 3 events, though. I think you've got to pick one and say, right, that's the one I'm going to really go for. We're going hard 3 days a week. I can't do it.
And which would you go for? Which of the 3?
Teams, because it's on the weekend. I'm back at work basically now full time. I'm going to struggle to do the K&L time zones because I'll be off at work.
Well, it's a good thing that the teams also has the biggest prize purse at 15,000, Nigel.
Yeah.
So it fits out quite nicely at the end of the day. We got 30 seconds to go. I'll let you get ready. Also, racing today, but not broadcasting here in the initial zone. We've got Daniel LeBlanc, who was in earlier today. He's known for racing CVRcade on rollers. We've got Ed Laverick, who's returning to the action today. He raced the Team League, the Influencer League we had. He's in here. Jennifer Garcia is ready. I see Kayla Laguna, Homer Thompson, Tam Burns, Jonathan Harone, several riders in here ready to race on a Saturday. So here we go. We've got Frank Garcia on the screen here. You can see him standing up, rocking away here. So in the chat as well, DK Mansuni is back. He was here earlier. See, we've got Lucky Torres, we got Super Mafioso. Thank you so much, guys, for choosing to spend your Saturday evening here in the company of us. So, this race played out very differently to what you're about to see this morning. With only 3 riders in here, they were going 37 kilometers an hour is what Nils Helden set as they were going around. Right now, if you look at the right-hand side of the screen, you'll already see they're doing about 50 kilometers an hour. So we had Yo Venom in the chat earlier today, and he asked, what am I looking at? Can you explain on the screen? Well, right now we have the side-by-side screen on. So to your left, you have Frank Garcia. Above him is his gameplay. That's where he is on the track. On the right side, you've got Quinton Molinese, and above him is his gameplay. Then to the far right, which will also be the far right for the full screen, is the riders nearby list or the leaderboard. Here, you'll see the positions updated in real time. You'll see the speed they're producing, the power they're putting out, and their equalized heart rate. As you can see, Quinton is just opening up the hips. He's stretching. And then to the left side of Frank, you've got the overall scoreboard, and here is where it really comes down to this. Across 4 races, racers will be gathering points, and some may go for individual glory, while others may be going for the overall omnium come the end. So we'll see how that all pans out. But up here first, it's the low skill event. This is a tough race, as you've got to time the sprint. Like, it is a skill, it is an art to know exactly when to go. What mark by the side of the road? What pillar are you looking at? What little dirt spot in the middle are you thinking, this is where I've got to hit 1200 equalized watts and go? As I see, we've got Moti Pikelny on the screen, rocking what looks to be an Under Armour shirt, some camouflage shorts, so his competition can't see him when he starts to accelerate. He's getting ready, 900 meters. We see Sebastian Kuhn. He's somebody who's gotten really good at these low skill events, and every single time he just looks back and he goes, you know what, I can do this. It's not, he says it's luck. I don't think so. Like, when you can repeat something, when you can do it again and again and again, it really is a fine art that can be mastered. Whether it's subconscious or not, I guess we'll just have to see over time as more of it gets ready. 400 meters, we're getting ready for the sprint. Somebody's going to wind it up soon. Look towards the right hand side. Jonathan with a comeback kit. On the front, it's Daniel LeBlanc, 800 meters. He's going. Moti Pikelny's there. Frank's going. And there goes Quinton. He's grinding that big gear. He is at the back of the group. Only 500 equalized watts. The finish line is coming up. Frank on the outside. He moves to the inside. Side by side with Ben. I reckon Ben took that. No, he didn't. It was Frank Garcia. And you see the facial reaction as he crosses the finish line. We get the little bit of celebration as well. That could not have been more than 0.001 of a second between them, because they looked identical as they crossed the line. So let's try and dissect what happened here on the low skill sprint finish. So Quinton on the right, Frank on the left. We've got about 200 meters here as Daniel opens it up early. Jonathan comes through with his comeback kit. Moti follows it. But you can see Frank at 1100 equalized watts. He stands up, he hits 1200, he accelerates early, and he comes through from very far back here as he goes on to win. Quinton is nowhere to be seen, and I think it's when Frank decides to go to the left here, he secures the victory. Short line through, he gets the draft from Ben, and then he goes on to win, and we get the celebration here at the very end. Now, Frank, that celebration, we haven't seen that level of celebration from you in quite a while.
Yeah, that one was really fun. Had to make a decision whether to stay on the outside or move to the inside, and I chose to move to the inside, and it turned out to be the right decision by 25 thousandths of a second. That's worthy of a celebration.
That is mental how close that was. I mean, looking through that sprint, how do you decide when to go? Because everyone is just kind of looking at each other.
Timing is super critical there, and people are getting the timing. There's a few secrets, I think, to doing well in that one, and I'm going to keep those to myself.
Like every great competitor would. Now, on the opposite side of this right now, from the euphoria that Frank's experiencing, let's go and chat to Ben Shuilong, who lost by 0.025 of a second. Ben, that's got to sting a tiny bit towards the end. There was not much else you could have done differently.
No, you're right. I was pretty pleased in the end. Yeah, I like that event. I like that track for the low skill events. It's definitely my favourite track. You know, that final corner and just the speed of the track and not being able to see very far ahead. I like it for that event. And yeah, I mean, Frank, we all know Frank's got a great sprint, so I'm pretty pleased to come second. So yeah, good start, I think.
Now, this race coming up here, Ben, I saw you complain a bit, question a bit on the forums about the 1.5 scoring multiplier for this race. How come?
Well, it's quite a high-skilled track. You know, it's a high-skilled track. We can all crash and crash into each other. So, yeah, it's quite a high-skilled event, but with a slightly lower scoring multiplier. I assume that's probably down to the number of laps. It's going to be short, so it's going to be a tough race. Tough and hard from the start, I'm sure.
Well, let's go and chat with Moti as well. And by the way, just to answer Casey's question in the chat, this race does not have a prize purse attached to it, but from February 11th is when the Solo Cup begins, and the 13th is when the Derny Cup begins, and the 15th is when the CVRcade World Cup begins, and all those races will have a prize purse. But we've got Moti Pikelny, who crossed the line in third. How much team chatting is going on, Moti? Because I briefly heard you chat with Jonathan and Homer before. How much scheming is happening?
We're practicing and planning in the in-game audio. Daniel had a great lead out there. His timing was perfect. But I provided a public service in showing that the outside of the turn is the long way around in CVRcade, and it'll cost you 2 positions. So let that be a lesson to all you new caters out there.
Oh, I forgot about Daniel.
Go the short way.
Hey!
And I've got my little co-pilot, Nathan.
Who's that joining the stream?
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good.
Are you gonna come race with us too?
We're here.
We need a secondary bike setup. We need Cognition to expand their recruiting, you know, Moti.
We got Nathan on Cade earlier. He was doing laps of Summit Island like it was nothing. It was awesome.
How did you like Summit Islands?
How do you like Summit Islands, Nathan?
We down the hard course.
Yeah.
I went all the way to the top.
Uh-huh. And then you took a break. All right, I got to get ready to race. I got to talk to my team.
Well, pleasure
Goodbye,
to meet you, my friend. I hope to see you back here. Now, somewhere Ben is just laughing to himself knowing that he made that little kit take on Summit Islands. We got 1 minute to go here. If we've got Carl Axel Sander with headphones on, I hope we do. I don't think we do. I see him with the headphones by the side of the screen. Well, let them get set up. So, as I did before on the side to side, if you could stay on this for a second. So, earlier today, the chat was really, they came out, they're like, what are we watching? What are we seeing? Not only have I explained the game a few times, we'll do it again, but it's riders from across the world riding their bike physically, which is then transmitting into the game by moving that physical avatar. But the stream you're watching, it's a bit complicated as well. So in this avatar, in this little box here, you'll see the person racing. That then attaches onto the racer you'll see on my right, which is Moti right now if we go to him. Then all the way to the right, you got the riders nearby list where you'll see the different positions of where they are currently on the track. Above that, you've got the distance to go marker. So right now it says 5.5 kilometers to go on the left. That would fill out all the way to the right, and you'll see that move down. So top right is the distance marker. Below that, you've got the live leaderboard. So then at the very bottom here, you have got you've got the scoreboard, which is a tiny bit small, and we know, but we've got other ways to show you the scoreboard as the race progresses. To the right of that, you've got the minimap. To the right of that, you've got the wind velocity, the draft percentages, and the wind direction. But here we go, second race of the day gets underway on Dust Bowl Crit. 3 laps. This is going to be extremely quick. I see that Daniel is up there, Luis Berenice is up there, so Cognition, they are practicing. They are getting ready for the CVRcade World Cup that will start February 15th. It'll have a $15,000 prize purse. Total prize purse overall of all the cups is 30,000 here. So let's watch as we go on to the attack. You got Ben. This is a course that he made in the track builder. So he knows the corners, he knows the speeds. He said he wanted no two corners to be the same on this track. So does he have it figured out? Ben's on the front, he's on the attack. Quentin Molyneux in second place here in between. The chat is trying to chant that Moti Pikelny and Quentin teaming up here. So I'm not sure. We see Cycling Hub trying to talk something into existence to try and get Moti Pikelny to help out, but he's looking more concentrated on his own team as Sebastian stacks it here in the corner. Ed Laverick stacks it. Jennifer Garcia stacks it as well. So we're going to be making it up on the front. Ben Shuilong has used wind at his back. Frank Garcia has used both his power-ups. So the two riders combined here, they're getting ready. You only get one weight lifted and one wind at your back with no inertias. So Frank is gone with two power-ups. Ben still has one power-up left here, so we will see. Now, DK's asking, what's that symbol that Ed's got? I think Ed's on Bluetooth or Amp Plus. I'm not sure. It's just a visual glitch. So Ed is in the game physically. He did let me know that he's at 85% Cade Cadet. So Ed Laverick is 50% away from being a Cade competitor. I would assume he's going to hit that today after today's racing. So it'll be good to see what he can bring to the table once he gets equalized. Those blue and orange shirts aren't an accident. Ah, I get it. I get it. We'll go and chat to Moti afterwards to confirm or deny, but I think it could just be smoke screen and mirrors. So we see Frank and Ben Shuilong. They are attacking now. They do have the Garcia connection. Jennifer is on Team Hive. Ben is on Team Hive. Frank was... Oh, Ben! Oh, Ben! You can see the facial reaction. He knows it too. Load that one up on the instant replay. Save it for a second. Oh, we got it here. Ben coming into the corner. Him and Frank. There's no need to overcook it. He's at 41, 41, 36, 34, 32. You can only go about 28, 29 there, I think. And he goes to 31. So all the way through the corner. And he knows the mistake he's made there. Looks so good for so long. But now he's on his own. Moti Pikelny has taken it up on the front. So we will see what's going to happen here. 2 seconds is the gap between him and Frank. We bring down the scoreboard on the top. And you'll see that Frank Garcia, winning the first race, leading the second race here, is 13 points ahead of Moti Pikelny. He's 20 points ahead of Ben. But something that we learned, oh, Moti, all the way to the edge there, not even flinching. I mean, that is Mamba mentality from Moti Pikelny there, not even flinching when the ball comes close to him on the edge there. So we will see. Casey is still trying to talk up Moti and Quentin together. Could be, could be. We'll see how it pans out. I do like a bit of a ruse, a bit of a... Oh, Quentin gets the shirt off. He's got composure on the descent. So 3 kilometers remain, as you'll see in the top right-hand corner. How is this going to pan out? Because this is a tough race. Frank, Moti, Quentin, Ben, physical equalization is showcasing in real time here. These riders are going to have to dig deep. I anticipate an attack here from Quentin. I think he's going to use a power-up perhaps even to go over the top. You see him standing up, accelerating in the wheel of his supposed teammate. But he gets blocked. He gets blocked again by Moti. So I'm not sure if Casey Shum has got valid information or not. As you see, Quentin, 45 kilometers an hour. He's 10 kilometers an hour quicker than Moti. And then Quentin goes down. And Quentin is confused. He's not happy with that one. But Quentin, when you go too quickly into a corner, you will slide out. The grand finale champion can also make mistakes. So we go back to the front. The two racers have now regained control of the racing here. Coming through Boulder Alley, it's Frank Garcia, heavily breathing, but yet still somewhat in control at 177. As you'll see, Moti Pikelny catching up. The two riders, shoulder to shoulder. They've been here so many times before in Zone tea on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Moti actually choosing to work with Frank there. And so he lets Frank in and he bumps. Ooh, speed differential there saves Moti. He does not fall down. Casey would like it to be known that it is drafting. Also, Casey says, Jesper telling Q how wrecking works. I thought that was funny. I know it's hella ironic, but I thought telling the CVRcade World Cup Season 1 Grand Finale champion who's won just under $6,000 in just one season. I think it's like 7 or 8,000 in total prize earnings if you count the team league. I thought the irony was there. I hope somebody else out there also got a chuckle, but we'll see. Moti and Frank engaging in the last lap of racing. Sebastian Kuhn here is coming back as well. So Cognition 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. I mean, look out, CVRcade World Cup, and then Moti goes down. Oh, Moti in the corner, overstacks it. So he's got to compensate for this now, and this opens the door for Frank. As I think everybody here is coming to the top. You see Sebastian at 800 equalized watts. He's going to have to build it over the top. So from one Cognition member to another, the baton has been passed. The flame has been moved on. Can Sebastian Kuhn get up to the top here as we come into the chicane? Frank's at 35. Sebastian 35.2. He doesn't go down. Quinton is 5 seconds down. Ben is 2 seconds down from Quinton. So we'll see as Team Hive members fighting out for secondary positions. On the front now, Frank has been passed by Sebastian, and Frank has used both his power-ups. Is the fatigue starting to kick in here? And Sebastian goes. Sebastian does not look back. He goes, Claudius, you know what? This is how you do it. You attack over the top. But Quinton is getting ready as well. Quinton has got wind at his back. He is going to be very close here to catching up on the descent. We go back to the secondary positions. This is where Quinton crashed last time around. He's learned his lesson. He comes on through. He could take some important points, but it's only a 1.5 scoring multiplier. So you can let it go somewhat if you wanted to. Because next up, if they know, they know. There's Leg Bend, 3 laps, 11 kilometers an hour headwind. No easy joke here, as Quinton will pass Frank under the boulder alley. You'll see on the front as Sebastian Kuhn gets ready. He's got 300 meters left. If he stays upright to the finish line, he should take the victory. As you can see, top right-hand corner, 200 meters remaining. Sebastian comes through the corner. He slows down to 27, so securely, safely, he will take most amount of points. But if Frank finishes in third, which it looks like he will only be half a point above Sebastian Kuhn. Sebastian zips up the jersey and we get the celebration. Quinton Molinez crosses the line next in second place. What could have been if he didn't crash? Frank Garcia in third. Then we got Luis in fourth. Ben in fifth. We've got Moti Pikelny crossing the line in sixth. Further down, we've got Carl Axel Sander, who is just riding on through. Looks like he's trying to just gel the legs out. Then we got Tam Burns, Jonathan Heron, and Jennifer Garcia. But let's have a look at some of the replays again, because that race could have gone a million different ways. Sebastian came back despite crashing very, very early on. He came back as we get to see the block by Moti on Quinton. Or, sorry, the strategically placed drafting advantage, as Casey Shum would have said it. Then Quinton goes down here as he overcooks the corner. Impressive to still come back within a lap. And then Sebastian, cool as a cucumber. He finishes off. He doesn't even need to worry. He crashed early. He didn't let it get to him. And he catches up to Moti. He catches up to Frank. And he passes all of them as he goes on to win Dust Bowl Crit in Zone K. That puts Sebastian Kuhn half a point behind Frank in first place. Ben Shui Long is 10 points down on Sebastian, but is close. Like, when we show you the scores here in 10 seconds, it's going to be incredibly close. But as we see Sebastian one last time sipping up the jersey, congratulations, Sebastian. That race, it could have been over at the very first crash. What kept you going?
I was 1k too fast in this corner, so that made me a little bit angry, and don't mess with angry Sepp.
So don't mess with angry Seb, but also don't mess with dead Seb. Which, like, what happens when you're both angry and dead?
You will see that in this race when I die against the wind.
So this morning you watched your son race CVRcade for the first time. What was it like to coach somebody on this platform? What was it like to watch him and like try and just see what it's like to be on the outside?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I did not thought it's so hard for a newbie to ride, to know how to ride, to know the speeds and everything around on the screen. This is not easy. You must not give up if it does not work for the first time. It takes some time to get it.
But is it worth it? Once you get through it all and you understand it, Seb, are you happy to be racing on CVRcade?
Sure, it's worth. It makes fun when you know how the game works and when you have sometimes a little bit success.
Yes, I can definitely concur with that statement. Seb, you're currently half a point down. I'll let you get ready. There was some chat in the chat here, and I want to go to Quentin because, Quentin, Casey is trying to big up a connection between Moti Pikelny and Quentin Molyneux today. Can you confirm or deny this statement?
I have no idea what the statement of Casey entails. I don't know what Moti was doing, if that was on accident or not. I was trying to do a last minute lane change, and either he got lucky and he blocked me in the right lane, or he was trying to get out of my way. I mean, I'm not going to think he's all evil. So I don't know what happened, but it was a little bit annoying, but I mean, it happens.
It can happen. It'll still look like fun out there, but when you crashed, I've not seen you so confused in a while. What did you think happened?
I think that there was like a tiny bit of lag. I got a few dropouts, and I think everyone had them. And I think one of the dropouts happened right when I was in the corner, and I think the game still thought that I was braking, so it crashed me because I was under the max speed. But I mean, also that happens. So.
Yeah, that happens. That happened to me as well on Thursday. I know the team is looking into it, Quentin, so I get how frustrating that can be. But you recovered, you're back in the racing. I'll let you get ready. I see Casey Badger's asking, how does a person join the racing if they're already live on Cade? Casey, not to be confused with Casey Sean, but KC, Kansas City Chiefs, whatever you want to say. Go in the game, right-click or open the menu on the left side of your screen. Go to events, and then you'll see Zone K, Race 3, and Race 4. If you want to join another event, there's also L later up, so you can join this racing. So open your game, go to the menu, go to the left, and you can ride on a keyboard. I want to get the final word here before we get racing from somebody who's currently in the lead, half a point in the lead. We got a minute to go. Frank, I know how much you like the wind. 11 kilometers an hour. Are you excited for this?
I'm excited to find somebody's wheel to ride on.
Whose wheel is that going to be?
Someone who's towards the front, and just see if we can find a good wheel to ride my coming back from injury, and so I've ridden a lot this week, so my fatigue is high. So we'll just see how it goes.
We'll see. We got 30 seconds left. I won't keep you any more in here, so we get ready. Earlier today, it was a heavyweight bout. It was literally a slugfest. It was just haymaker after haymaker between Homer Thompson and Nils Heldens, as when there's only two people, one person is in the draft and another person is not. So it was attack, get in the draft, wait up. Attack, get in the draft, wait up. Fascinating to watch. Homer's back in here for more, as we're going to watch and see. I think Frank Garcia might load up an early attack here out of the gun. That's something we see a lot from him as the early stages of the races get settled, because it's very much like the Cyclocross World Championships today, where from the gun is the biggest speed differential, and thereby you really need to give it all to get up to speed. And once you're up to speed and you're in the draft, it gets a lot easier. So we're on first person here with Frank Garcia down in 5th place. Now, the virtual leader out on course is somebody who's had his Weetabix this morning, Ben Shuilong. Come into the first race, loses by a hair, like a hair fracture at the end. Then, second race, he was up there. If he didn't make that mistake early on with Frank Garcia, he possibly could have done better. Now coming into Lake Bend, which earlier today was the first time it was ever raced, he's coming out here all guns blazing with Jennifer Garcia, his teammate, further down. Jonathan Herron is in there as well. Quinton Molinez is a bit further down. He's going to have to fight to get in now, because if you are exposed to the wind, if you are out there and you're feeling the wind, it gets very difficult. I think right now it is a cross tailwind from... No, actually, I think it is not. I'm trying to figure out which direction the wind is coming from. I do think it's like a cross tailwind from the left here. So if you can get into the draft here as Quinton, he should be fine. If you look further down, I'm expecting Cognition to be somewhat bunched up, and they are. You're seeing a blue jersey from Moti. Oh, Carl Axel Sander went down. So we'll bring that up on the replay in a second. But Carl, I mean, now he's going to have to go on a crusade. He's got to have to load up the Viking ship and just get sailing now in the waters, because he doesn't have anybody. He just goes to the left. He hits the wheel of Moti. And this is the age-old question, to lane change or not to lane change. It's something that's been asked since the early days of the Dawn, and in that certain instance, it was to not lane change. That was the correct answer, but it's difficult. It's very, very difficult to know when to go or not. So, right now, as you can see, in the middle of the screen, you have the gameplay. Just down below, you have the minimap, and to the right, you have the wind direction. The wind direction is based on the red dot you see at the start-finish line. So the wind coming from the bottom left, moving up towards the right. So they still have a somewhat cross tailwind here, but as they come around, they go into a straight-on headwind. So this is the last bit of tailwind they get, and Quinton is using it to his advantage over the top here. So he's trying to attack away. He's a solo Team Cycling Hub member out there. He's being chased down by the Blue Armada. Luis, Sebastian, Moti, everybody's coming on through as inertias just get popped. Frank Garcia with inertia, Homer Thompson with inertia, Moti with inertia, Carl Axel Sander with an inertia. That was poetry in motion, as everybody seemed to be on the same page, and Moti is still going on the front. He is flying away. So you've got, oh, Moti with a path of least resistance here. He's got to be careful. If this keeps ticking, it doesn't look like the corner is steep enough, but that was a risky path of least resistance. He could have fallen down there, but now we see Moti in the lead. You get 3 path of least resistance, which you just saw one used by Moti. You get 1 weight lifted and 1 inertia. But now, for the first time of 3, they're turning around. And when you've got a tailwind going one way, guess what you've got coming the other way? You've got a straight on headwind. So Moti right now, he's looking at his, naughty and nice list, and he's like, it just felt so nice, but now I'm getting cold for Christmas. I maybe shouldn't have gone solo on my own here. You got Frank further down. He's down in 8th. He's with Jennifer. We see Carl Axel Sander. Despite his crash, he's here. But Luis is not going to help out. Luis and Moti are teammates. They're not going to help each other out. So we're going to see what happens now as Carl moves to the left of Luis, comes on through. I see Casey's asking, if I race this on replay tomorrow, can I play Jesper's commentary at the same time within the Cade game? That is a great suggestion. I don't think that's currently available in the game, but what you can do, Casey, is you can load up the replay, you can load up the VOD, which is the video on demand. We upload every video, every live stream onto YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel, CVRcade, when you start your replay, just start the video at the same time, and then you'll get the commentary. So if you are racing right now, and you're this far into the racing, and you're hearing your question asked out loud, and you're wondering, wow, this is tough. What? We'll see what you do. And Frank is saying, actually, you can cast it in the game. So something that I'm not aware of, but we can go and chat to Frank afterwards to get more information on it. But it seems like you can do it. So we'll see. Yes, you are. I am getting confirmation that you can actually hear it in the game at the same time. So, got Carl on the screen. We got Moti Pikelny still 10 seconds up the road. Got two blue riders in the secondary group. So, they're very set right now for Team Cognition. They don't have to worry because, like, this is all up to Carl Axel Sander to bring it back. Louise and Sebastian, they're just there to patrol. They're there to play the safety net in case Moti Pikelny gets caught. They should be relatively fresh and they'll catch back up. So it's Ben Shuilong now down in 5th place. He's a Team Hive member. Timothy Tamont not out there today. We got Jennifer Garcia down in 8th, who's riding. Tam Burns is at 203 as well. So he's moving up on through now. So it's a very long race, and we've just gone through the headwind section, and we're coming back onto the tailwind now. So Moti has survived the first time on through, and we'll see him come right back. So we'll see how it goes now as Moti Pikelny is still fighting through on the front, as it's not going to get any easier. Also, Casey, if you would like to join the event, there is a quick start menu that opens up whenever you open the game. When the game opens, you'll get a quick start menu, which on the right side of the quick start menu, it will tell you your license progression. So for somebody like Ed Laverick, who is a bit further down, or for someone like Tam Burns, who's down here in 9th, he's currently a CADE cadet. So you can see on the right-hand side of his shoulder here, it shows one little, sergeant stripe. That means he's a CADE cadet. So when you open the game, you can progress through the licenses. You can move from CADE Cadet to CADE Competitor to CADE Pro, or to CADE Master, and then to CADE Pro. And that's what you can see on the right hand. On the left, you can join the events there as well, or you can join a track. You can watch the how-to videos, and there's also classes, I do believe, on the left-hand side. If you want to open it at any time, on the bottom of the screen, on your bottom bar, there's like a little rocket ship that you can open up as well, and that will get you to the quick start menu. So there's loads of nuances of CVRcade that can really help you out here. And so we get back to the racing. Louise and Carl Axel Sander are in the secondary chase group, and Carl right now he's in a world of hurt and suffering. Now, it's worth noting that Carl still hasn't managed to connect his heart rate monitor to the game, as he's at 0 since we had the Thursday escapade when it was the head-to-head. And Carl almost cost the Team Velocity Vixen their head-to-head test win here again. We'll see. But we can see the physical effort of Carl here. But again, if you want to race and you want to get points and standings in the cups of CVRcade, whether that's the Derny Cup, whether that's the Solo Cup, or the very prestigious CVRcade World Cup, you've got to connect a heart rate monitor to the game. Almost everybody's got it, except the main man, the Viking, Carl Axel Sander. But Sepp and Moti now, can they link up here? Cognition, they are testing, they're trying, they're just trying to dial in the communication. And that's something, when we saw the head-to-head testing where only 8 riders were in, 4 from each team, it really amplified the teams that have been gelled and those that may not so much. Like Velocity Vixen, I'm not sure that many people expected them to come in and really just nail it like that. But Sebastian is getting ready. He's attacking here at the front because he knows it's Ben Shuilong with an inertia further down here. So he's trying at the exact same spot that everybody else used their inertias. Ben's trying to make it back. He's got Quinton over his shoulder. It might be worth looking to working with him as well further down. But on the front, Moti Pikelny has had to let go because Sebastian Kuhn was at 200 equalized heart rate. So we asked Sebastian, what are you like? What's it like? What power level do you reach when you're both angry and dead? And the answer is over 9,000. Sebastian Kuhn here, 10 seconds up the road. He is in just time trial mode here. So German engineering at its finest. What can Sebastian Kuhn do? So once again, Team Cognition have passed over the baton. They've gone from Moti P. Kelney, the sole rider up the front. Sebastian bridged the gap and he was sitting with Moti, and now it's up to him. So we can bring up the side-by-side here between Sebastian and Carl, because Moti and Luis are teammates of Sebastian. They're all Team Cognition. They wear the blue with pride, and to the left of Sep here, you'll see the current scoreboard in action, the full scoreboard on the screen. As you can see, oh, Carl! Oh, he looks to the camera as well. He knows what he's done. Oh, bring that one up on the instant replay, because Carl, as soon as he did it, oh, look at this. Once again, to lane change or not to lane change? That's the question. There's no reason to change lanes. Oh, now Carl goes on to the audio. I think he wants to chat here. Carl, we can see you, Carl. What just happened there?
Oh, no, I was just starting taking chances. I had burnt all my power-ups, and they were just blocking me pretty intensely, so, it was nothing to do. I had to, do the kind of same back and try, and making the mistake when, they're trying to sweep lanes to block me, so it's next race for me.
Next race. Well, Carl, that was heartbreaking. I love your facial reaction when you went down. Looked straight into the camera. Knew you'd be on it. Well, Carl, good luck. Rest up. There's still country rally up after this, and even Zone L if you want to go and do some more. But now Sebastian is leading. He's got a substantial lead here, but the last race is country rally. Scoring multiplier of 2.5. So there is loads of possibilities to get points left out on track. You've got Sebastian leading it. Now, second rider on the road chasing him down is Team Hive. But we got a tiny bit of an insight there from Carl Axel Sander, which was Cognition is really... they're really digging into their dark side here, utilizing the blocking and just using their bodies on the road to take up the space. And that's something we're going to see more and more of here as the team racing gets put on a big screen. Because when you've got riders to use, when you've got riders to spare, you can really take the air out of your competition. As you can see, Ben now forced to react as Moti goes on to the attack here. And what Luis is doing is he's just keeping him up against the boards, not allowing him to take the short way around. And now it becomes a who can get the draft battle. So they can't rest up too early because Quinten, Frank, they're not too far down. Frank's down in 10th. You've got Quinten in 5th. And now Moti rides on through. Luis has got 53 kilometers an hour. So this secondary chase group out on the road, this is very, very interesting. This is something we don't see often, but Homer has used a power-up further back. So he's got inertia. You've got Quinten with path of least resistance. He's making sure to take as many points as possible because the points you've got at the end here, you've got some power-up. I just read Casey's comment. Casey Shum saying to Carl, just throw the bottle, Carl. It helps. Well, there's always that epic moment of Casey Shum chucking his beat on across the room. Hopefully he went to pick it back up, but chucked it as he crashed on Dust Bowl Crit, the previous track to this. So we get ready as we move on up to the front here. Sebastian Kuhn has got 3 kilometers to go. And this is a man who said, watch me in the next race. Watch me. I think this next race, once the wind gets me wild up, I'm going to show you and I'm going to go for it. And that's what the metronome, the jury, the judge, the executioner, Sebastian Kuhn here. He's been floating around 195, 200 equalized heart rate. He's been so high on the scale for so long now. But the question is, could he come down? Could he move down here? Because when you spend so much time at the peak, at the max of your heart rate, it gets taxing the longer you are there. The longer you're there, the more and more it starts to hurt, the less time you can be there. So if Ben deems it necessary, he could come over the top. But you can see Moti not letting him go anywhere. So Moti with a strategic block on Dust Bowl Crit on Quinten Molyneux. And now he is just sitting right on the side here of Ben. So they're chatting, they're figuring it out. They got Luis down there as well. As you can see, Moti now moves to the left. 2.5 kilometers to go. Is he going to try and attack? Is he going to try and go here? It doesn't look like it right now. I might be cheeky. I want to see if he's got audio on. Moti, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but are you confident right now beating Ben? Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm so sorry, Moti. Well, I guess I know the answer now. Oh no, and the block on Homer. Moti, we'll turn off the audio again. I will assume all responsibility, but I hope we have that on the replay just so we can bring that up right now because... Oh, talk about the caster's curse. I go to Moti. We're going to chat to him about how he's feeling, and he tries to get on the wheel of Ben. He may have just heard the dulcet tone of me, and then he goes down. But then again, when he gets back up, and now Louise goes down. Louise with path of least resistance. Team Cognition could not have been in a better spot. They were everywhere. And now it is Tam Burns in 4th place who's coming on up here. Moti's going to fight on through. But Tam Burns, who was in the stream, it looks like he's been disconnected. But Tam Burns, Team Cryogen, is in here. Now it's 2 riders versus each other. The funniest thing was when Moti re-established as a rider after crashing, it was Homer Thompson who got the front end of Moti Pikelny. It literally could not have gone worse if you tried for Team Cognition in the span of like 2 minutes. Oh, that is so funny there. I like the chat. Literally, commentators curse, everyone loving it. Mutt KG. See Bollum Deum saying, can anyone join this? Yes, you can, Bollum. Bollum, if you want to get on, you can go to CVRcade.com. You can download the game free of charge, free to play, onto your computer right now. Or if you've got an Xbox, you can sign up to be a beta tester. And then, whether you have the equipment or not physically, you can always write on a keyboard or on a controller. So if you want to get on, Bollum, CVRcade.com, download it, install it. We've got another hour of racing, another hour and 20. So if you want to get on, if this has fascinated you and you want to race with Sebastian Kuhn, with Ben Schuh, and now Ben with a path of least resistance here, this is going to be a close race towards the end here because the secondary positions on the course are going to matter a lot because looking at the grand scheme of things, Sebastian gains a 10-point advantage on Ben here, which puts him 20 points up overall. But on the last race, a 2.5 scoring multiplier, there's almost 20 points between 1st and 3rd place. So there is a possibility, a high possibility here of having a close finish towards the end. But that comes down between Ben and Luis Soberanese. Luis crashed with pass of least resistance, and now he is back on here to race. I see we got Aaron Starboy, we've got Relevant Pizza in the chat. Nice of you guys to all tune in. Now Nigel Doyle as well, out of nowhere. From being with the bot patrol, he's unleashed Clarence, he's let go of Hetty, said goodbye to Ada. Now Nigel Doyle passes Tam Burns to 208. But the winner from Team Cognition, who's only got 400 meters to go, that did not have to worry about everything happening behind him. He saw Moti go down, he saw Louise go down, he saw Homer Thompson get blocked from his teammate. It doesn't matter. Sebastian Kuhn will go on through, and he will not only have won the last race on Dustball Crit as he gets to sip up the jersey, he will have won another race on Lake Ben as he gets to flex the muscles. Now secondary positions are vital here. Ben will get 3rd place, but not for the lack of trying, but Louise sits up. Now, we've got 4th place on the line here. It's Cryogen, which is Tam Burns versus Nigel Doyle. And Nigel, you can see just the facial reaction, how much he wants this. He's been with the bots. He comes on through. He takes the position. Moti Pikelny, he sprints. He almost comes back. He almost beats Tam Burns to the line, but he does not. Quentin Molinez further out on the track. You've got Carl Axel Sander, who... he was in a Cognition sandwich. Like, that was a blue cheese sandwich out there. And sometimes some people like blue cheese, some people don't like blue cheese. And for Carl, he would like a refund on that one. So Carl Axel Sander next. Further down, we got Frank Garcia, who came into this race leading. He will be the next one to cross the finish line. But I think he's been saving up his energy. He's got Country Rally coming up next. A track that he likes a lot. I think we can expect some good things from him. But let's have a look at the instant replays here at the end. So Moti Pikelny. He goes to the left. He's got Ben on his inside. This is some very important points up for grabs here. And then he just moves to the right a second too early. Overlaps the wheels and he goes down. That's the exact same time we went to go chat to him. He falls on down and he comes back up. He slams into Homer. They executed though. Like, shout out, really well done to Team Cognition. They executed their strategy, they used their strength in numbers here today, and they just took control of the race at the front. Whether it was against Carl, whether it was against Ben, whether it was against Nigel almost at the end, it was Team Cognition from start to finish on that one. They seem to have it in their grasp. So we see Sepp here cross the finish line once more, gets to zip up his jersey and gets the celebration one more time. Now, Seb, we've seen you dead, we've seen you angry, and now we've seen you dead angry. What's the next step?
Lying on the floor, not moving.
Well, you can't lie on the floor just yet.
I'm clipped in, I cannot fall down.
Well, I will gladly take you up with that challenge as somebody who's fallen off, clipped in. But Sebastian, last race coming up. Ben is your main competitor. Do you reckon you've got the better of Ben here on Country Rally?
No, I don't think so. Ben made it nearly up to me in the last race. I was going slower and slower and slower. Could not move my legs. So I don't think I can hold him back in this race.
Well, let's hear from Ben what he thinks. Ben, you got Sebastian giving you some massive praise, your previous teammate at Team CCC. Do you think his words, do you think you can come over to the top and beat him here?
It's very kind words from him, but I'm not sure. You know, he's always super strong, and the more he says he's tired, the better he races. So we'll see what happens. You know, there was no way I was going to actually catch him up. It was just a battle with the other two Cognition riders in the last race. That was really good fun, actually. You know, just trying to rest up, but not trying to slow me down too much and let Homer catch up. So it got really tactical. That was really enjoyable. And then in the end, yeah, they both made pretty big mistakes. So that worked out in my favour. But yeah, Carl Axel just smashed it past me in the last moments. So good race nonetheless.
Now,
yeah, this one, we'll see.
Good luck up in this one, Ben, because I think I need to quickly issue an apology to Mr. Moti Pikelny. The commentators cursed Moti. Can you forgive me?
Oh, that was my fault. I actually didn't see that Luis was right on Ben's wheel, and I overlapped Luis's front wheel, not Ben's rear wheel. So that was an error that I would have made whether or not you came to me. So no excuses. But we got what we came for. Seb was ahead on points, and I played rabbit, and then Carl Axel pulled him and Luis back up to me, and then it was time to put Seb over the top, which is one of our trademark moves, and he's awesome. It was a really good TT effort, and it's too bad that Luis and I couldn't follow him. We should have been able to with numbers and our tactics and how rested we were at that point, but we didn't make it happen, but it makes this race even closer. So this is all good practice for everyone for the upcoming World Cups, and yeah, I'm just excited.
Cognition definitely looks strong. Let's get the final word before the final race of the first zone. We've got another zone after this, by the way, but Quinten, you're usually one to, well, I'm just going to say, usually one to dominate Country Rally here towards the front. Is that a similar performance we can expect here in the last race?
I don't think so. I have been doing some endurance work in the last weeks, so I didn't really touch much of my top end wattage, and I can feel it that it's still pretty. It's hurting quite a lot more than usual to get into that zone. So I'm just trying to get used to that again before the World Cup starts. So I don't think there's going to be much of a dominance on this track today.
Well, you've got time to tune up. It is the 1st of February, so 14 days away from the CVRcade World Cup. 13 seconds to go. Good luck in the racing, Quinten. I see that Casey's asking, how many teams are out there? There's Cognition. Well, Cognition is the team that is showing up with grand numbers in this one. So Cognition is the blue team out on the track. We have got also the team that Quinton Molyneux is on, which is the team that was dominating in the previous CVRcade World Cup, which is Team Cycling Hub. We've got Velocity Vixen, which has been growing in numbers, growing in strength. They've been getting better. They brought on Nigel Doyle. They brought on Peter Kastrup. They're looking good. We have the latest team to join. Well, I say this because there's been two teams that really have joined recently. We have Ben Shuilong, Jennifer Garcia, Timothy Tamont of Team Hive as Inertia out of the gate here. And then we've also got, sorry, Casey, I will continue that train of thought because the racing is kicking off. Ben with Corner Caper with Inertia, Frank with Corner Caper with Inertia, Nigel with Corner Caper and Inertia. Even though three riders from across different teams, they all had the exact same train of thought as they come into the racing, and it's Ben Shuilong right now, just as Sebastian predicted, the virtual leader of the race. If we bring down the scoreboard, you'll see Ben Shuilong 187, Sebastian at 179, and Frank has a possibility. If Frank comes over Ben, Frank has a chance of slotting into second place, possibly first, but he would need Sebastian here to make a rather large mistake and crash down through the rankings. But Frank is moving on through now. Frank took the first win of the day, and just like Quinton, this is a track that Frank excels on. This is a track that he understands. It's a rhythm course. It's a track where you really got to know the ins and outs of it, and it's getting really close. 5 points is the difference on the top. As we get ready, we'll load up the scoreboard for you in a second so you can see it here. Ben and Frank. Sebastian is winning right now, but by the slimmest of margin. 181.5. Ben is at 177, and Frank is at 174.5. Now, there are certain scenarios here in this race that can come through. So we've got 3.6 kilometers left. If it finishes right now, Sebastian wins. If Ben beats Frank, if Ben comes through Frank here, Ben will take the overall Omnium victory. If Frank wins this, and Ben finishes third, and Sebastian finishes 9th or 10th, I believe, then Frank somehow came back to win here on Country Rally. Ooh, last second, he dodges the hay bale as he goes all the way to the right. But our current leader on the track is leading by 0.8 of a point as Nigel, then Ben goes down. That's it for Ben. Team Hive, Ben Shuilong, when the pressure is on, when the boiler is cooking, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, when the tea is ready, that seems to be when Ben Shuilong crumbles. The spotlight, you can see the makeup running down from his face here. Ben Shuilong, what could have been, but Frank, somewhat happy, but somewhat not happy, because for Frank to win the overall here, he needs Sebastian further down. So Frank right now has got to pray that Ben, that Nigel, that Homer, that Ed Laverick, and even Jennifer Garcia comes on through. And Sebastian knows this. He's been consistent across all 4 races. If you bring down the scoreboard, you'll see he's got 19, 45, 75, 42 and a half as he gets on the wheel of Carl Axel Sander. Now that's dangerous because there was a bit of blocking going on Lake Bend. I wouldn't put it past Carl Axel Sander to put on the brakes here. So the battle right now is two-pronged. It's Frank Garcia versus Sebastian Kuhn. Frank won the first race, Seb won the following 2, and now Seb with Inertia pops his power up. We get ready. So you can see the 2 riders side by side here. Both of them just emptying everything they've got. Luis has actually slotted into second place, and now Luis comes on through. Luis goes into second place in the overall. So Lake Bend getting that second place for Luis now is a really good thing for him and Cognition. They could be eyeing up here a first and second place as we see a bot there on the left. And Luis! Oh, Luis doesn't move to the left. Oh, this is like every single time you think Cognition have got it in the bag, they somehow forget to tie the nut, and when they go to carry the bag, all the groceries just come on out. You've got spilled milk, you've got eggs, you've got bread everywhere as they crash on down. 1.7 kilometers to go. Casey asks, are the racers seeing the broadcast from Jesper live, or would that give them an echo? Do they see it in the game and in an event? Yes, so there's a broadcast unit in the game, sorry, a broadcast widget. If they choose so, they can listen, they can watch the broadcast through the game, the in-game widget, if they choose so. Some choose to do it because they like having that sports director in their ear, like, you know, the floating helicopter kind of giving them the lay of the land. Some would rather just have music, or some, like Moti Pikelny, currently in third with Sebastian further down, they like to chat amongst themselves, which there is an in-game widget that's like a communications widget through the game where these riders are talking to each other. I do see we've got Tam Burns back. So Tam Burns in ninth for the first time in CVRcade history. Team Cryogen has entered the live stream here. So Tam Burns is rocking. You can see the Cryogen. He's had a really good performance today for a Cade Cadet, and he will only get better. Now, fight on the front here is getting quite intense because now Quinten is in third place. For him to take a second place here over Frank, he would need a bit of a miracle because, oh, Luis goes down again. He hits the barn door. No, actually not even that. He goes down before the barn door, and Luis is now down. Ben goes on through. So Frank Garcia, we got a bit of a Sepp Kuhn and a Frank Garcia sandwich. We have the bun, which is Frank Garcia winning the first race and the last race, it looks like. And you got the filling in the middle, which is Sebastian Kuhn taking home Dust Bowl Crit and Lake Ben. Now, I'm not naming any conspiracies, but they both have the same celebration. So maybe the key to winning on CVRcade is the celebration. It's the show of abs, or show of biceps, and then point to the sky, Arnold style. So 2 seconds now. Quinten, don't give up too early. Quinten Molinez here. If he's got a corner caper left, I don't think he does. I think he's got it. We're going to see what's going to happen. 100 meters to go here between the two. Carl Axel Sander as well. Oh, he pops inertia early. Quinten with a corner caper. It's going to come down to the wire. Which of the two is going to get it? Frank Garcia, everything on the right. Quinten on the left, but no. It will be Frank Garcia taking the victory here on Country Rally at the very end. Not from the lack of trying from Quinten Molinez to the competition. Sepp and Moti. We got Moti who will cross next. Sebastian wins the Omnium. Frank gets second. Quinten gets third. Ben Shuilong will cross the line next with Sebastian Kuhn. He will get fourth. Moti. Tam Burns, everybody. Please, in the chat, a round of applause. This is Tam's first time on the Mixer broadcast here. He's a Cade Cadet. We get the thumbs up. You're absolutely rocking it, Tam. Good to see you racing out here as we get ready for more racing after this. Tam will finish up here as we watch him. Oh, he dodges the lock. You can see his face. He knows he almost made a mistake. But there's Tam finishing his Omnium. Let's get the final few highlights as he just gets the Cryogen in there. Now, we've got another race up after this. We got another zone, so don't go anywhere. We've got Zone L coming up next. I see Daniel, Moti, Nigel, Vanessa, Sebastian. We've got a father-son combination here that I need to go and chat to Sebastian about. But, I mean, that zone was brilliant. Zone K, it was some highlights, some lowlights. There was some crashes. There were some storylines. There was a lot of team dynamics on display. Good to see as we now have Quinten Molinez at the very end. Corner caber. Maybe he uses it earlier. He gets there. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? It will all be questions that could be answered if you do a physical replay. We got the finish. That is only a minute before the next zone starts. So let's get a word from the winner of the stage first. Frank, to the very end there, I mean, that got kind of close with Quinten. Did you think Quinten and Carl could come back and catch you?
Oh, yeah. I thought, Quinten's really strong. So, and he had that corner caper. But I had an answer to that on that last turn. So he used it, I think, a little late. I think if he used it a little bit earlier on the tighter corners, he would have definitely had me. Shout out to Luis. I think Luis had me. There was a little more lag in the game today than I like. So I'll check with the server guys, but I think that cost Luis staying out front. I think that's why Luis crashed But so I was thinking ahead. So kudos to me on recognizing that you needed to be in your lane a little bit early, and too bad for Luis because the game ought to function without that little bit of lag. But like I said, we'll check the server guys. But great racing, guys. Seb just absolutely killed it. I got with him like 6 points there at the end. I was hoping someone would pass him, and but he was dead, which means he's strong, and he takes the win. Congrats, Seb.
We've got another Omnium coming up, Frank. Are you doing the back-to-back?
Oh, no. I'm going to go crawl into the fetal position and pray for some sleep tomorrow.
Well, 2 race wins. Congratulations, Frank. We got the next zone coming up. I'll let you go cradle up in the fetal position, which I hope we get to see an image of into the CVRcade Riders Forum. So, ModKG, if you're anywhere, make sure to snap a picture. I think everybody would love to see that. As we've got a father-son combination out on track. We have Claudius Kuhn and Sebastian Kuhn racing together. Now, if anything to go by with how good of a caliber cyclist Sebastian is, I think Claudius, once he gets equalized, once he becomes a Cade competitor, I think there's going to be some double trouble here as we have 8 riders doing back-to-back. We've got Ed Laverick doing another race. We've got Luis Soberanese, which you heard from Frank, had some unfortunate mishaps in the last race, which the team will have a look at. But he's in here. He's ready. He's in the broadcast. He looked very, very fresh. Like, I've not seen this Luis since he first came on the platform. And it was what's it called? Oh, it's that Hypnotic Highway race versus Tim Fulford, where he laid down the law. He's like, here's the barn door. I'm not talking about the one on Country Rally, but an actual barn door, and he's slammed it wide open. He's like, right, guys, I'm home. I'm here. Since then, we haven't really seen the Luis Soberanese that we expected to see come through, but has it finally clicked? Has he finally, reached that Cade Pro level of competitiveness? We'll just have to wait and see. I also see that Moti Pikelny stuck around, so we'll have another set of 4 races: Dark Matter Tech, Dust Bowl Crit, Lake Bend, and Country Rally. So 1.5 kilometers remaining. Casey's asking, when a racer chooses to race an Omnium, 4 races I guess, live, does the Cade game switch the rider to the next course automatically? Yes. So that is an option that is in the game. You can choose to stay if you want to in the stage. So every event, yes, at the end of it, it will take you automatically to the next race unless you don't want it to. If you want to spend a few seconds more looking at your post-race stats, such as your peak wattage, your peak heart rate, the peak, like how many crashes you've had. Sorry, it's Nigel Doyle here. 600 equalized watts. He's changing things up here. He's going for an early attack and he's actually got a gap. 2 seconds gap here. But he could be comeback kit fodder here. He could be the carrot for somebody else, and there it is. Luis Soberanese sees the comeback kit opportunity, and they're not even on the same team. And Nigel Doyle just opened a bag of tricks here for the Cognition riders. And so now we see the return serve. It's Moti Pikelny, it's Luis Soberanese, and they're going for the ace here on the backhand returner. And you see Luis, Moti, they're committed to this now. And Moti has to be the rider in between. He has to be the person that makes comeback kit not work for anybody else in the chasing group. And it looks to be Luis Soberanese who's going to attack away here and take the 1 scoring multiplying race here on Dark Matter Tech. 30 points overall, but it could be Claudius. Oh my goodness! Claudius Kuhn was going to come through and break the heart of Luis Soberanese. 203 from Claudius. Luis, applause to Claudius. Nigel and Moti. Moti is going to beat Nigel. Nigel looks spent. Homer comes on through. We got Daniel LeBlanc also in the stream here. So Cognition back for more. It was actually Daniel's birthday last Wednesday, so we'll give this as a bit of a birthday stream for him as well. Sebastian Kuhn, I mean, he's got to be happy. I think his son winning his race here live, primetime television on Mixer. Let's see how Claudius did it. So it's Moti, it's Luis, it's Nigel. They're tired of the same old sprint to the line on low skill events. Nigel opens up the ball early, and then it's Luis comeback hit. It's Moti comeback hit. And just as soon as I called it, as soon as I thought Luis had in the bag, and I think Luis did too, out of nowhere comes Mr. Kuhn. Claudius Kuhn, that one is, as he goes on to win. We've still got Seb in here, the broadcast. Seb, your son, Claudius, how proud are you of that victory? I think you may be muted in the microphone.
Best win ever.
Is he next to you right now in the studio? Are you both racing together?
He's here.
Wait, can you bring Claudius onto the microphone?
Yeah, microphone is open.
Well,
He can talk.
now you can ask him on yours. Can you hear me, Claudius?
I don't think so.
Well, you can ask the question for me. It's just a quick question, Seb, and you can answer it. Ask him how sweet that victory felt.
Wie war der Sieg? Soll ich dich fragen? He says, never mind.
Like father, like
special.
son.
Nothing special for the son of this great father.
Oh, you too, Seb. Have I told you I love you yet? Well, now I have. You two are amazing, Seb. I'll let you get ready here for some more racing up. I want to hear from Luis. Luis, I reckoned you had that one as soon as I said it again. So I'll apologize for the commentator's curse continuing to hit cognition, but I thought you had it.
Well, I thought I had it too. I didn't see anyone, and then I see this figure that looked like a cognition kid. I was like, oh, it must be Seb or Monty or someone. I was like, oh, it's all right. And then I see Claudius on top. It's like, oh man, and he went flying by. So kudos to him. That was a good victory.
Now, last zone, it can't help but feel like what could have been. Now for zone L, is this the revenge tour?
Yeah, I'll try to make it my vendetta. Yeah, I had some issues. Don't know exactly what happened. I didn't even have to restart the game or anything. It just kind of froze. So, but it's all right. We have a second chance, so we'll see what we can do on this one.
Well, good luck, Luis, in this race. We've also got Nigel Doyle, who... Nigel, you surprised me, because for the majority of the previous race, we saw you with the bot patrol until we didn't. Like, what changed on Lake Ben in the last race?
Well, I was just sitting with the bots, and then I thought, well, I've got those power-ups to use, so I started using them on the last lap. And hey, I just started passing people, and then I thought, okay, I'll go a bit harder. And then,
Wow.
you know, I just thought, well, I want to hang on to that fourth position, so I went really hard.
Now, you gotta go hard again, because you tried to attack in a low-skill event. That is something most people don't dare to do. What made you do that?
Well, I haven't got a big sprint on me, so I thought what I would do is go early. Somebody would use their comeback kit, pass me, and then I could use mine. But when I went to use mine, it wasn't there. So I need to check the replay to see if I used it by mistake, because it just wasn't there.
Well, we'll have a look back on the replay, of course. We've got that available.
I don't know if I bumped the keyboard or what.
Everybody has done that at some point or another, Nigel. It's a good thing it happens here in the run-up racing to the World Cup that begins very soon. Good luck here in Dust Bowl Crit, which comes up very soon. I do want to point out that from earlier today to now, Claudius, earlier today, was a Cade Cadet. So he only had one little stripe on his arm. He now has two, which means he's a Cade competitor, which is gonna make this racing so excited. Like, I think Claudius coming into this fresh. He came back from more after this morning. I can't wait to see. I think everybody in the chat is just kind of like, you know, you're looking in, it's like there's a new kid in class who comes in, they look all buff, and they're trying out for the football team, and they're like, are we going to win state this year? Is this the guy who's going to just carry us? Well, I think that's how everyone is looking at Claudius. Like, we know how strong Sebastian is. If this guy is just 1/5 as strong as Sebastian, everybody else is in trouble. So I'm excited to see this. We've also got Moti returning for more racing here, as you saw before. They're getting gelled. We'll try not to do any more commentators' curse. Daniel LeBlanc was watching earlier today in Zone E. He was occupying the chat, which is awesome. So we'll see what he can do. Arguably one of the best beards in the game is Daniel LeBlanc here, without a doubt. As we can see, seems ready. He seems ready. You can see the smile just coming up as well here. So Daniel gets ready to race a Dustball Crit. I see Sunshower has joined us as well. So nice that you two show up. Batista, nice to have you here. We've also got Ed Laverick. So and see if Ed Laverick is now a Cade competitor. So we'll wait for the racing to begin here so the riders can get separated. But the importance from like ranking up, you really want to get on and progress. You really want to rank up, because the higher you get in your ranks, the better the experience is going to get for you. As we now see Cognition in the blue. It's Daniel LeBlanc off to an early start here. And we look, now we've got a chance to look at Ed Laverick. We look on the side, still a 1 stripe, but last I heard from him, he's at 85%. I think we'll see more. So now Sebastian here at the back. He's got his son Claudius to the left. He's got Homer. So this was the race that Sebastian won last time around. I think he's just staying around. You can see him looking over on the other side. He's just helping out. And then, oh, he makes his son crash. Oh, bring that one up on the replay. And you can see Sebastian not happy with it. So Claudius, while Sebastian is looking over, it's Claudius in the blue just ahead of him. And then he moves to the right twice. And right into his dad. And right on down. On the front is Luis Soberanis. With Daniel LeBlanc. With Nigel Doyle. With Ed Laverick pulling on through here. We've also got our very own Vanessa Murhan in the racing. So she is... Oh, Luis! Oh, Luis visits the rock on the left. Bring that one up in the replay again. Last time it was Sepp who said, I went 1 kilometer an hour too quick into that corner and I crashed. Now you see Luis at 42, then he goes down to 37. I think it's 36, I think it's 35.9 is like the max speed. So again, that 1 kilometer trying to cheat the corner doesn't often pay off. Nigel with a wind at his back. He wants to catch up to Daniel here. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Now, I can't believe, by the way, that Homer Thompson is back for another day of 3 Omniums. This guy is amazing. Blackhawk 2474 says, how does someone go about joining it? Do you need a Peloton bike? Blackhawk, you don't necessarily need a Peloton bike. You can get on the game. So there are 3 ways of playing the game. There's physical, like you've seen Nigel, Louise, Moti, Quinton, Frank, and all these people. Or there's non-physical, which can be done on a keyboard. Literally, you can get in the game, you can press plus, you can move on the arrows, you can have fun. Or, as Ed almost gets blocked by Moti, you can have an Xbox controller. So if you want to play in here, there are 3 options. The most satisfying option is the option that gets you fit, which is you cycling. Secondary options is controllers and keyboard. So however you want to play, you can do so. Just get on CVRcade. The game is free to play. So even if you just want to try it out, like, you know how Peloton costs like a bazillion whatever currency and it costs you half a fortune? Like, this is free to play. You can get on and you can even try it out first, non-physically. So Luis moves on through. You can kind of see the intent on his eyes here. Look at him just staring at the screen, trying to make it melt by his eyes. So you can see. Also, thanks for MuttKG for answering the question in the chat. So here we go. Luis on the left, Nigel on the right. Nigel seems to be fading ever so slightly here in his second Omnium, but can he make up for it? The long attack in the previous race should have taken a lot out of him. So we'll see now if Nigel Doyle, Team Velocity Vixen, can come on through over the top. I'm impressed with everybody out here. Claudius is back in 8th. He's not giving up just yet. But Daniel LeBlanc here, as he stands up, he's gotten rid of the rollers. And we're getting a great angle here of Daniel LeBlanc as we get to see what Suffering looks like. He stands up and he gets passed by Luis on the right. So he's been caught by his teammate, the two Cognition riders here on the 3 laps of Dust Bowl Crit. Atomic Froster says, what? No Jennifer? Jennifer raced the previous zone, Zone K, and she politely asked not to be on stream today. So Jennifer raced earlier today, but I'm sure she'll be back for more next week in Zone T, I think. So Luis comes over the top here. He's now going to hit the next climb out on track. We look further down. We got Moti Pikelny, Team Cognition, team leader. He's just, you know, he's happy with the situation. He's got Luis, he's got Daniel up there, Ed Laverick in 4th, and you got Sebastian further down. Claudius, though, making his way back in here. This is the wild horse. This is the wild card. What can Claudius do? I think everybody is eyeing this opportunity up. Very early crash here as she pushes out 1200 equalized watts. He's pushing on here. Don't be surprised if he comes back, because when we go to Sebastian here, I will bet you that he's looking to the side of the screen here. He's giving some direction. He's giving some instructions here. As you can see, this is where they're looking at. And he's trying to say, slow down, speed up, move in, move out. Have a look at this. You're going to be fine. He's at 199 equalized heart rate. So he's pushing everything. But he's only 20 seconds down. This is going to be a great zone to watch develop. I think this is going to be good. Ed Laverick goes down on the front. And now, Luis Sobranis, as we enter the last lap of racing here on Dust Bowl Crit. The 1.5 score multiplier. This is going to be fun. Atomic Froster says, must have been a wild Friday night. That is the rumor that's going around, Atomic Froster. That is the rumor. I remember last time Jennifer didn't want to stream. She said she was racing in pajamas or PJs. Maybe that was the secret sauce, because I think she got like 3rd or 4th that day. We'll see. As 1.7 kilometers remain. The last lap of racing for Luis, for Daniel, for Nigel Doyle of Velocity Vixen. Newly Velocity Vixen out on track racing with Jeff Rooney, Moti Pikelny, Vanessa Murahan. There's some big points here up for offer. If we bring down the scoreboard, you will see that Luis currently leading. Daniel 2nd place. But Claudius is a close 3rd place. Tied with Nigel Doyle, Moti Pikelny, 1 point behind. It's going to be a very, very exciting finish on the last 2 races. But Daniel LeBlanc falls down here in the same corner. And to just see out of the corner of my eye, Moti Pikelny not satisfied with that one. That leaves Luis all on his own to fight off the nightmare. But while Moti was so focused on the rest of his riders, he falls down himself on the incline. So Moti Pikelny falls down. Now, who's going to win this race? There's 8 seconds between the top 2 here. Nigel comes on through. I think Nigel may just be looking for... Ooh, Luis all the way to the edge here. I think Nigel may just be looking for consistency to take the maximum amount of points as Luis stands up, wind at his back, and he comes on through here. 9 seconds. Vanessa is catching up, but so is Claudius, so is Daniel. It's fight for 3rd place, you know. It's gonna be a good one here. But it's Claudius who's gone down. He's gone down, and now Daniel LeBlanc sees the opportunity to go onto the attack. Weight lifted, wind at his back. It's Vanessa Murahan versus Daniel LeBlanc. It's Vanessa versus Daniel. CVR versus Cognition. Canada versus the United States of America. And right now, Canada is winning with their maple syrup. Somewhere, Ryan Goldenberg is racing a flag, but Daniel's got to be careful. He brakes just in time, and he knows it. And on the front, a 172. Now that Luis somewhat knows that this race is secured. Not like the last race, but this one, his heart rate is coming down to 173. He can breathe in, he can breathe out, he can see the gap. And he knows up next is Lake Bend once more for Luis. And you can see by the shoulders, he's a CVRcade competitor. So he's got some progression on the license to a CVRcade master. He'll be looking to becoming a CVRcade pro. So Luis Sobranis goes on to win. And it's another victory for Cognition today as we get the kiss on the ring as he goes on to win. And Cognition water bottle. getting the plugs in there all around. Well done. Nigel goes on to win. And then Vanessa pushes Daniel LeBlanc to the edge, and Daniel overcooks it. Vanessa Murahan comes over the line in third place here. So at the end of the day, it is the United States of America that goes on to win over Canada. Then you've got Claudius Kuhn takes fifth place here, not too far down in the standings. Ed Laverick crosses over the line as well. Mo TP Kelney can finish, and then Sebastian Kuhn, who without a doubt is still looking over to the other side of the screen, just saying, calm down, get ready, we've got more racing coming up. So let's have a look at the instant replay once more time here. I did just also see a question in the chat from KC's asking, so are the early Aussies and Kiwis up to ride, or are they just flying their flags in other countries? No, this is, I can very much assure you that Nigel Doyle is the most Kiwi man I've met, and Jeff Rooney is up there as well, so they're most definitely up early in the morning their time. So Educated Cube is happy, USA, USA, USA. You've got Tay Fearless as well saying, way to go Vanessa. I mean, Daniel got pushed to the edge there, but at the end of the day, it is California native, it is Luis Soberanis, who I think really wanted that victory. After how the racing unfolded in the previous zone, I think he really wanted to take that victory on Dust Bowl Crit. So we've got Lake Bend coming up next, and then we've got Country Rally as well. So 2 races remaining, and right now, leading the top of the leaderboard as you get the plug one more time, Team Cognition, getting the beat on in. Well, Luis, congratulations, you got the victory. How badly did you want that one after how the first zone unfolded?
Yeah, it was. I was a little bummed that it didn't work out in the last Omnium. So Dust Bowl Crit is fun because you have this burst of speed, and you can just go hard for a bit and then rest. So it's good for interval workouts. So just wanted to give it a shot and work out in the end, except for that crash. But you know, one day I will go full Omnium without crashing.
That is the mythical Omnium. That, like, don't care about the Invincible. Don't care about any of that. It's the uncrashable Omnium that everybody's going for. But, Luis, the legs, you've got to do this a second time. You guys did not make it the easy the first time up. How about this second time now?
Yeah, you know, we're gonna see how the race plays out. Last time we did the same. You know, Marty went out, and then Carl did the chasing, so I just followed his wheel. And then, you know, a few mistakes. You know, this is the first. Well, last time was the first time I had been on this course, so I made notes of when to use path of least resistance and not change lanes and stuff. So yeah, I met some mental load, so hopefully I'll be able to apply them this time.
Now, Luis, the World Cup prize purses have been announced, so the CVRcade Cups. 30,000 overall prize purse. Is that something, you know, you're planning February, you're planning March, April, you're thinking, I kind of want that dough?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was out of.
I think we may have lost Luis just on that moment, so that's fine. We'll go to Nigel Doyle as he tries to recover back. And you never know if somebody sees, oh, there's a new episode of Gossip Girls on Netflix. I've got to go watch that, so I don't blame anyone in Luis's household. But Nigel, there was a question in the chat whether or not you were actually from New Zealand. What do you make of that?
Yes. I don't know where, or if I'm not from New Zealand, where am I from?
Well, Australia, yes, right?
Yeah, go the All Blacks.
Nigel, you've got 2 races coming up next. This one, I mean, last time up, it just looks so tough. Now you got to do it again, and you've got all of Cognition looking in one direction, and that's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because we've got wind, and it's, what are we, 11.5 kilometres, so it's not a short one. And there's a hill climb, so it's, I don't know, I think it's one you can't really do a break, try and do a breakaway on it with the strong wind.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if someone will try, because I assume we'll see somebody from Cognition. But Nigel, good luck. Let's get a final word here from Coach Kuhn, Coach Sebastian. Seb, how do you like the situation right now where you are at?
It's horrible. I have to coach and ride by myself at the same time. That does not work.
Well, you could just get off and start pushing him. Maybe that would help more.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, how does he look? How does he look? Fresh? Does he look okay? He's got a 13-point deficit. As a coach, how do you think your athlete is going to do?
He looks fresh. He smiles and laughs.
Well, that's all that matters. But
So
we
watch
all
out
know.
for him.
I was gonna say we know with the Coons though. It's when you look tired, you're the most deadliest, and when you're the most angry, that's when you gotta be careful. So we'll see, Seb. I'll let you get back and get some coaching in last minute. You can see on the scoreboard here, Luis is leading at 71, Nigel at 60, Claudius 58.5, Vanessa Moorhan. I mean, she can be an outsider for this race if she's got anything left. Daniel LeBlanc, Moti Pikelny, Ed Laverick, the beast that is Homer Thompson. You got Sebastian Kuhn and Ben, who Ben thought about it. Ben started the Omnium, and then Ben went, I'd much rather have a Ben and Jerry right now than a Ben CVRcade, so can't blame him. Gotta go off and get some cookie dough here as Daniel LeBlanc, Team Cognition. They've got the numbers. The Blue Riders all training, all getting ready here as they move on up. Ed Laverick. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to see from Nigel, from Sepp on this one, because you got an uphill battle here if you're Nigel Doyle, because theoretically you've got what, 6 Cognition riders going up against you, so you've got to be Copperfield here. You've got to fight. He's got the fighting spirit. If anyone can do it, it's Nigel Doyle. He will not go down without a fight. So I think what we can anticipate from this race is a more dulcet tone start. I think in the beginning here, we'll see the riders start to look at each other. I think they'll try and just look each other on and see who's got the legs. But Claudius has already gone down. Oh no, let's get Sebastian Kuhn in here. Sebastian already crashed. What happened?
Too many bots around him.
Oh no! I mean, that is just heartbreaking, Seb. We'll let you get back. You can still fight on through. But Claudius Kuhn, his kryptonite is but Clarence, but Thomas, but Hetty, but, you know, that just happens to everybody. Even Guillermo. It's always Guillermo. It's always. Whenever somebody goes down, we look at Guillermo and he goes, me again? Come on, it's not me. I swear, but we know better. Now, Moti, he's down here. He's with Homer. He's with Margaret as well. So, looks like Moti's just getting some mileage in the legs, getting the communications gelled with the team. And so he's going back to help Sebastian Kuhn. But on the front, just off into the distance, we've got our 2-man breakaway. Our 2 leaders at the top of the Omnium. So Luis Soberanese and Nigel Doyle. Team Cognition. You can see Luis is talking. Probably asking his teammates, what do I do here, guys? What do I do? Do I wait up? Do I sit there? Do I wait? Do I not? Meanwhile, it is Ed Laverick down in 3rd position here, who is fighting on through. So what can he bring to the table? He's wearing the Swift carbon shirt, still in the game. So he's fighting relatively hard, but he must be on the cusp of being a Cade competitor now. As much as he's putting on through, once the system updates, it'll be good to see what Ed Laverick can do out on the track. He's just in front of Daniel LeBlanc currently. He's here, but now on the front, Nigel Doyle with a path of least resistance, 700 equalized watts. He is going for it here. So solo breakaway from Nigel Doyle as he attempts to break the spirit of Luis Soberanese. But you look over the shoulder, he's right there. Now Moti Pikelny as well with an inertia has coming from far back because we're changing wind direction. It's going from a tailwind on to be a headwind, and Luis is trying to use it. Nigel now as well with his weight lifted here. You only get one. He's trying to use it. He's just attacked, and now he's being counterattacked. Watch for Moti here. Moti is not gonna let Nigel come on through, and Nigel knows it. But Nigel is no stranger. Oh, we'll see. Let's get Nigel on audio. Nigel, what's happening?
Oh, for Christ's sake, guys, It's only me.
Well, I can see Moti smiling. If you turn on Moti's audio at the same time, Moti, he's saying for Christ's sake. Oh, I think Moti's so tired he can't talk here, which is fine. He's fighting on. It's okay, Moti. We'll let you come on through. He lets Nigel on through, but Nigel, no stranger to getting on, putting a block. We all remember Saturn the other day, where Nigel Doyle, on a keyboard I think it was, went up the road, slammed on the brakes and went, "Come on guys, it's only a game." And so now it's coming back. Sorry. Nigel, do you regret that block on Saturn right about now?
No, that one didn't matter.
But this one did?
This doesn't matter either. We're not racing yet. But geez, guys, it's all you guys, and just me.
Well, Nigel, that is the highest compliment of all.
So what they've done now is, Luis has gone off ahead. You know, we could have had a good race there, and now Moti's ruined it.
I know the feeling, Nigel. We got Luis up in the front here. We'll go and get a talk from our leading rider on the road. I know he's digging deep. Luis, you hear Nigel's comments. What do you think? Do you agree with him?
Well, I saw him attacking. I thought we were going to work together for at least 2 laps or so. So we had like 5 seconds. And then he attacked. So, I gauged to see if I could stay with him. I did. I was okay, now it's the time to counter. So, just, I guess, different tactics from different racers.
Well, I'll let you get back to it. Different tactics, different strategies. DK says the man of 1,000 head shakes, Nigel Doyle. I get the frustration from Nigel out there, but it's only gonna get amplified because when the World Cup begins, the World Cup is team oriented. Get ready when you're gonna have to face all these decisions out here. Nigel has got 8.4 kilometers, and if we've cut to Moti here, I reckon you'll see a smiling man happy with his decision, as he's, this is the art of war, how to get in your competitor's head, trying to win the race. Oh, then he goes down. Oh, we've got to hear from Nigel. Nigel, how sweet does that feel? Oh, Nigel. Karma. Oh, Nigel, come on. Let's see if you can catch Luis. It's not over just yet. But Moti Kelly goes down. We got Sebastian and Claudius fighting it on through. Down in 6th. Claudius is back in 3rd here. And there's a bit of continuous. I think Moti just put a block on Ed there as well. So he is out there just throwing around his body like there's no tomorrow. And now we see, I think the racing is about to begin here. Claudius and Seb, side by side here, getting ready to set up a team time trial. So Seb has had enough of being on the back, and he's now taking the initiative to ride with Claudius to come on through. Nigel is up the road. If I'm Luis now, I know Seb is my teammate, but I'd start to worry because what's stronger, like friendship or family? I mean, that's where you've got to make your alliances, where you never know. A 20-second gap with 7 kilometers left. There's still so much to give here. As I see Casey Shum has returned to the chat saying, I would have worked with you, Louise. You got Educated Cube saying lol. Good to see you back, by the way, Educated. I like that your alarm went off at 6 o'clock. I heavily appreciate you coming back here, as we see. Now, DK Mansuni, I hear he will be joining us very soon on Cade, so that'll be fun to see DK jump from the chat into the game and starting to get involved. But now, very interesting situation as well with Ed down in 5th, Sebastian and Claudius here. They're going to use the wind, and they have no lag between them. I mean, there's going to be no communication issues. They speak the same language. They see each other every day. Now they're sitting next to each other. I see that Punisher Hawk 2474 says, how do you download this? So Punisher, you can download this by going to CVRcade.com. So CVRcade.com. At the very top it says download now. Once you do that, you install to your computer, you get on, and then you can either play physically, which you see Sebastian on his bike, or you can play using your keyboard. So Punisher, when you go to download, you got your keyboard. When you get in, you can press plus to move your rider, and you can move him on the arrow keys, and you can slow him down with minus. So that's what you can do. You have a controller as well if you want to get on. Got it right here. So if you have an Xbox controller, you can connect it, and you can ride accelerate R2. You can move on the keypad. That's Punisher. That's how you do it. But Ed Laverick here going on to the attack. So Ed Laverick is a threat here as well, as he's going to come around Nigel Doyle now. This race is far from over as Nigel gets past. 20 seconds is the gap. I think even though Luis looks the strongest I've ever seen him since that day on Hypnotic Highway, I would be scared. I see Claudius at 200, Sebastian at 185. Now, Sebastian has done what he could do. He's really worked hard. We'll just see Sebastian, Claudius, 20 seconds down. Seb, do you I think Seb may have just disconnected his microphone, which I don't blame him for. I think he's like, well, I can't talk if I don't have my microphone connected, so he can't come to me. But Luis, 20 seconds up here. He's got a chasing group catching him down now. We'll see what's going to happen. RT, not R2. Sorry, that's correct. RT. But it's essentially the same button, but a different name. Correct. So, Luis and Nigel. Nigel and Claudius, I think, would try to work together here. 20 seconds is the gap. They've also got Ed Laverick. So, there's a collective of 3 here down in the chasing group that I think we can see them working together soon. As you've got the scoreboard on the left. Luis has got 146, Nigel 125, Claudius 116, Ed 93.5. So these points, they're very well within each other on Country Rally, the last race of the day. So it's really not over until the fat lady sings. So you've got to fight it on through. We see Luis been on his own for a long time. There was a bit of soap opera drama in the middle. Nigel, Moti, Luis going back and forth. Should I have worked together? Should I not have worked together? As we get to this little 2% downhill, falls flat, then we move to the left and we start another lap very soon. The final lap of racing here as Luis moves on through. But the gap is 20 seconds. This is going to be difficult for the chasing group, but if they can work together despite their different alliances, you can see Nigel in the front, you see Ed in second position, then you see Claudius further down. Ed actually chooses not to go in there, so he doesn't crash. He lets Claudius come in. There are some important points here on offer as we watch the secondary positions fight through here. And if Sebastian can get back on terms here, that is an engine that you may need. But I'm not sure if Sebastian is thinking about bringing back Luis currently. So Nigel taking up the mantle on the front here. Both of them have got their sunglasses on. You can't see their eyes if you ignore their physical, real-life eyes on the left. But in the game, they've got their visor down. They are ready. Ed Laverick getting a ride here. Nigel. Wonder if they start getting a bit of a chain gang going, because we're going to have a tailwind for a tiny bit here, cross tailwind on this section. So they might be looking to keep the speed high, but depends. What are you after? Are you after winning the racing? Are you after winning the Omnium? Or do you just want to make sure to get us high up at the very end? So you see Nigel getting some water on board. Sebastian is 3 seconds down, 5 seconds down. Path of least resistance. Looks like he's revitalized himself. He's in here, 2 Omniums back to back, and he's fighting. He's trying to get up there. He's saying, 1 lap to go. Let's do this. Let's get as many points as possible. And if Claudius moves up into second place, there's a difference between 16 points between him and Nigel. That's a swing of 16 points. As you can see him looking to the left, he's trying his best. He's saying, come on, let's do this now. And I think we're seeing the reaction to this. Claudius has hit the front here. You can just see at the top of the screen here, he's got a gap. And now this is his attempt. 20 seconds, 3.5 kilometers. He's 23 points down on Luis. It's going to be a fast finale because you would assume that Luis is going to start to fade. You would assume. In fact, let's go and chat to Luis, because Luis, the legs at this point, they must be saying, no way you can hold this to the line.
They are indeed. Just managing the effort here.
Well, the gap is 20 seconds right now. Do you think that's enough for the last 3 kilometers? Oh, Luis, I like Luis's reaction too when I came to him. He was all smiling. He's like, he's too polite to go, no, Jesper, I'm just going to pull a Sebastian and pull my microphone so you can never come back to me again. That way I am commentator proof. But, I mean, Luis seems confident. You've got Nigel on the right here. He has been left. So now it is Claudius at 2:02 equalized heart rate. Gap's coming down. He is only about 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer higher here, but he's going to try. He's above his absolute max ever recorded in CVRcade. 2:02, 2:03. He's getting the best possible exercise. Let's not forget, Claudius did Zone E this morning as a Cade cadet. He then progressed. He then ranked up and now a Cade competitor. So he had so much fun. He came back. And now 18 seconds, 17 seconds. It's a tough ask. You look further down, you see Nigel Doyle in third. He's just ever there. Over his shoulder, there's no Ed Laverick. Sebastian Kuhn fighting it out. You got Moti, you got Daniel. It looks like Vanessa opted not to start this race. I don't blame her. But she had a good performance on Dust Bowl Crit, so we'll see. Luis on the front here. 146 point. Frank has just got a... Oh, Claudius now has got a power up as well. I just saw Frank with a boss emoji in the chat as well. So invested in this. It can happen 16 seconds. If I'm Luis right now, I have already seen this play out once. I've already been beaten at the very end on Dark Matter Tech. It feels like this is Groundhog Day. Like this literally happened in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And Claudius is gaining 2:07, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 6 seconds. He is catching up. Now, Luis, no, I'm not going to do it, Luis. Don't worry, I'll let you concentrate here. But now Claudius is coming back. Let's go and watch the fear as it creeps in, the realization that the man, the myth, the legend, when we're talking about Sepp Kuhn, has gone and has, just went into the fountain of youth. He's de-aged about, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, and he's come out fresher, he's come out stronger, he's got the same mindset. This is Terminator, guys. This is Skynet finally taking over. And who knew they were German? But we're going to see now as Luis. 2 seconds is the gap. Claudius at 2:08. He's pushing boundaries. But now we're coming on to the difficult section of the track here. You've climbed the top. This is where you get a bit of resistance in the tires. Now on the downhill, you've got to keep it up. You've got to, that's actually where it gets tougher. When you've got less resistance, when you've got less of a reason to fight through, it's tougher mentally to find that right gear and go. So chat, what do you think? Is it going to be Claudius or is it going to be Luis Soberanese that wins Lake Bend? Because it looks like Claudius is starting to fade as Luis realizes the danger here. Claudius has been at such a high heart rate for so long. And now it is Luis with 1 kilometer to go. He's trying. He does not want to give it up. He's been here before. Last Omnium, it was Frank Garcia who was his kryptonite, his nemesis. This one, Claudius has already beaten him once. Gap is coming down. He got within seconds. And now it's going the wrong direction. He's fading off the back. He's got to throw everything into this. If we go to Sebastian right now, I'm sure you'll see Sebastian saying, come on, everything you've got, one last try. There's 2 races left. You're 2:03. How badly do you want this? Why put in all this work? Why get so far just to see it slip through your fingers when you come to the very end? And now Claudius stands up again. 600 equalized watts. He's at 2:07. He's trying. He's throwing in everything. But so is... Oh, here goes that 1,000 watts, 1,100 watts, and inertia. Now let's go and see Luis. Luis has got to pull the block on this one. With the speed differential, 400 meters to go. We'll look from above. Luis looks, he sees the speed. This is Cognition. They're known for their block. Oh, he doesn't execute. He gets outplayed by Sepp Kuhn Jr., Claudius Kuhn. And if he doesn't crash here, Claudius Kuhn, as we can see him in the distance, he takes the victory, and Luis gets heartbroken again. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And he just can't believe it. He's looking in disbelief. That happened on Dark Matter Tech. Now it happened all over again. It looks like it's gonna be a long winter for Luis Soberanis. Now Nigel will be the next one to cross the line. I think somewhere he's somewhat happy with this one because he was not satisfied with Luis's cooperation in this race. He will come over the line in third. Homer Thompson with a great one. I hope that Sebastian reconnects his microphone before the next race so we can go and chat to Seb, because that was absolutely insane. As Homer comes across the line, lays down. We see Sebastian here as well. He's talking, he's happy. Let's bring up the instant replay, guys, because whew, I mean, talk about a series of events there, changing the outcome of the entire Omnium. Luis happy as this is the type of moment Luis is going, I got this. He's got the zip lock on his mouth. He's like, nah, 20 seconds is enough. No one's gonna catch me. Then you got 1.9 kilometers to go. Claudius gives everything. He saved the inertia. He goes up to 61 km an hour. And Luis knows, I need to block. I need to block. I have no other way of winning the sprint unless I block him. He tries it. And Claudius just plays him like a fiddle, and Luis realizes it. And this is just the longest 200 meters of his life. He's like, I've gotten here, I've been here all this time around on the front, and that's how it ends? Come on! But sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Luis Soberanis falls down. Now, Seb, just to check, can you hear me, Seb?
Yes, I can.
There we go. Now, describe the mood in the Kuhn camp. One win on Dark Matter Tech now. He just did the impossible.
Yeah, I wanted to hold him back, not to chase my teammate, but he is like me, I think. If he's racing, only eyes in front and left behind, nothing matters.
Now, after winning Dark Matter Tech, he said, whatever, not a win. Surely there's some level of euphoria after that victory.
Yeah, he will be equalized now, I think. So, these two victories are not quite real.
Brutally honest. I still think there's some level of excitement over there. I don't know if you can hear me, but Claudius, well done. Regardless of what Seb says, that takes heart. Good luck here in Country Rally. Luis, I mean, your heart, it gets broken once, it gets broken twice. Can it sustain getting broken a third time here?
I'm not sure. I'll have to play it by ear on this one. Try to be on the safe side. I think that took a lot out of me, so we'll see if I can hang on here on this one.
You do have the lead. It is only 2.5 points though, and Claudius being a newcomer to the racing, do you think you have the technical advantage over Claudius on a track like this?
Maybe. I'm fairly confident on Country Rally, bar any technical issues, but hey, you never know. You know, he's got Seb there to coach him, so I think he's got a pretty good source of knowledge next to him.
Also, in terms of motivational push, I don't think anyone can push themselves deeper than Sepp Kuhn, so best of both worlds. Let's go and have a word with Nigel, because Nigel, you were clearly dissatisfied with the outcome of that race, but come the end of it, seeing Claudius come over the top, was that like the icing on the top?
Yeah, well done, Claudius. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fighting
well
a good
done,
fight.
Yeah, I've cooled down now. Yeah.
Did you get a tiny bit hot-headed in there? Do you think you
Yeah,
overreacted?
Yeah, losing my rag. Yeah, that's. But that just shows you, the raw emotion of the game. I've never got like that on that other racing platform, so this certainly brings out the emotions, good and bad.
Well, does that mean the tenor will change? Because we've had Tim yell at you in the past for being on a keyboard. Does that mean you're going to change, or are you going to stay the way you are?
I will never do another block again in my life.
Oh, let me just check the date. Yes, it seems to be April 1st already, man. That's come so quick. Can you believe it? Well, Nigel, 1 minute to go. I see you've got your towel on. Back-to-back Omniums. Good luck here in the last one. Currently third overall. You've got the full scoreboard. Louise is leading by 2.5 points. I mean, that's a slender lead, but Country Rally, anything can happen. Claudius, 133.5. Nigel, 117. Homer, Daniel. Massive shout out to Ed Laverick out here, showing how it's done. Moti, Sebastian. Will Vanessa come back on? I think if Vanessa has the courage to jump back on the bike and get racing here, she was strong on Dust Ball Crit. This is another track that would suit her. Then you got, I still love Ben. Ben at the bottom there, he's like, I'm going to do back-to-back, guys. I do it. And he's like, no. No, just no. Oh, too good. Let's go. Last race of the weekend before we get on to a new week. Louise currently leading at the top. Sebastian Kuhn coaching Claudius Kuhn in second place. Will Sepp also get involved in the racing here as we see the start gets given? Luis Sobernis stands up and he gives it everything. He does not want to lose this one, as FOG with some more emojis in the chat. We got Ollieport as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Nigel with a very early inertia here, 49 kilometers an hour. Luis hasn't used his, and corner kick, but he gets blocked. Oh, Luis, but then Luis eats the dust. And as somebody once said, karma from Nigel Doyle. So Luis from top of the world, and this actually puts Nigel in the lead. Nigel Doyle is currently leading the Omnium. Luis trying to block him down. He puts the move on Nigel, and then he falls down. I hope we've got it on the replay and we can bring it up in a second, because Luis falling down, making that decision, he's got an uphill battle here. Not only does he need to come back and pass all of the blue riders ahead of him, he's got to go and make sure that Nigel doesn't win the Omnium. So from one high to another, here we go. It's the instant replay once more. Nigel with inertia. He goes from 49 to 44. And then when Luis, he tries to move to the left. He's at too high of a speed. He tries to move to the left on the inside of the corner, and he falls down. Looking at his teammate, there's Daniel LeBlanc down in 9th place here. He's been looking strong. Moti Pikelny in 8th is further up. We've just seen Luis. Claudius Kuhn right now. He's got a chance to take the overall victory. He could win his first ever Omnium on the first day he rides. He slams into the back of Ed. Oh, he's missing that tiny bit of, finesse, that tiny bit of moving around now, as it looks like the cadence here, he has come to a grinding stop here as he's pushing the gears on through. Sepp in second place here. So right now, Sepp is the reason Claudius is not winning over Nigel. So if Sepp got moved down and Claudius moved up, it would be him coming on through. But Moti Bikelny has not had enough just yet. He's at 51. He uses corner caper. He wants to catch Nigel Doyle. He's 6 kilometers an hour quicker than Nigel currently on the track. He dodges one hay bale, he dodges another, and here we go. FOG says, if Nigel Doyle wins, oh my, that will be some kind of celebration. And I think Nigel, he can taste the bubbles, he can see the podium, he can feel the flowers around his neck. The emotions he went through on Lake Bend, I mean, feels like this one would just be another level of release. So it's Nigel, Claudius, Luis, but Luis is coming back now. It's another Omnium that is so close. Like this Omnium set, this event set has been brilliantly set up in terms of scoring multipliers because all 3 Omniums have been exciting today. And Louise now, direct competition. If we bring down the scoreboard, you'll see Nigel 192.5, Claudius 191, Louise 185, and now he passes Claudius. He's going to move up into first position, 193.5. It is a direct match here on Country Rally, and Nigel will see this information, and he just needs to continue doing what Nigel does best, which is focus on himself and race this one through to the line. Half the racing has gone here, and we'll see if they can keep it up. Claudius, Sebastian right now. What's in the Kuhn camp? What are they thinking? What are they doing right now? Because Claudius seems to be fading ever so slightly now. But I don't think I've seen the power-ups. I don't think I've seen an inertia. I don't think we've seen a corner caper. And if that's the case, we saw in the previous race that he knew exactly how to do it. Could he do it once more here? Luis, though, is currently winning. And there is that buffer in between. That is Moti Pikelny. Luis is only leading by 1 point. But Moti is the buffer, and Moti can break. As Ed Laverick meets his destiny with a hay bale, Moti can break whatever he needs to do. And we know that Cognition is not afraid of pulling out the blocks if they need to be. They do it, they use it when necessary, and I think they're orchestrating a pass over here. Moti lets Luis come on by, and as you can see on the left now, Luis is 8 points ahead of Nigel Doyle, and it's all gonna come down on the last lap here. But I don't think Claudius has used his power-ups. Moti Pikelny needs to land a block. I think he's gonna need to land a block on Claudius because inertia is awaiting, corner caper is awaiting here, and weight lifted. This is gonna be incredibly close, and I think all the racers know. We look from above here. Does Moti attempt it? Oh, Claudius! Oh, Claudius! Oh, bring that one up on the replay quickly because Claudius gets ready for the overtake. I think he gets psyched out by Moti here. We got the helicopter point of view, but we just miss it. He hits the side of the road, and that's him out. Now, Luis with an inertia on the front. He has just got to secure second place. And when you look who's behind him, it is Moti, it is Homer, it is pretty much everybody. As Claudius, he did have the inertia. Claudius is attempting the inertia now with corner caper. He had it. He was ready. But that one mistake could throw away the entire Omnium. He's 20 seconds down on the current leader out on track, which is Nigel Doyle. He's done what he needed to do, and with 11 seconds of a gap on Louis Soberanis, he looks set to be able to take the victory on this track, but it will be Luis who goes on to win the Omnium. So a troubled Omnium in Zone K. On this race, it will be Nigel Doyle winning it. Now, I see a lot of sympathy for Claudius. That's just the skill of the game that you're going to have to pick up over time. Knowing how to move around, be careful. And I think the occasion may have just gotten to him in that instance as we get ready. He's only 1 second down on Moti, but it's not going to change much. Claudius would need to win the race, I believe, to come through. He's in third now, but Nigel Doyle, everybody, Country Rally, he takes the victory. We get the salsa. Second place is Luis Soberanis. He's got Log Avenue, Victory Boulevard. He's got the whole landing strip for himself, and he will win Zone L overall Omnium. Despite being pipped to the line in 2 races today, Luis will go on to take the Omnium. Claudius, we tip our hat. Great to have you on the platform. Now, Moti, I think he's letting Homer come on through, and he is. Good sportsmanship. Vanessa got back on the bike as well. She will cross the line in 6th place here. Good to see her back. Sebastian, I think he can be very proud of the signs of promise being shown by Claudius, but I think he also knows I'm on to a winner here. I mean, the Derny Cup is coming up. The World Cup is coming up here. I mean, what's stopping the Sebastian Kuhn household from just total world domination of CVRcade? And the answer is Team Cycling Help. We'll see when we get there. As Daniel LeBlanc, Canadian, comes across the line, always a smile on his face. It was his birthday this past Wednesday. Happy birthday, Daniel LeBlanc. Great to you to be here on the stream. We can celebrate it with you, but let's bring up the instant replay one last time of the day here as Zone L comes to a conclusion. Been some really good racing out there across the different zones, the different races, the storylines today. I mean, you just feel your heart racing up into your throat every single time, every single decision being taken. You can feel what the rider goes through, and that's really what makes CVRcade racing so fun, so engaging, so immersive to watch. I mean, you can literally feel the release of euphoria as Nigel finally takes the victory here today on Country Rally. But what I want to know, Nigel, well, Nigel, first of all, congratulations on Country Rally. But your concentration level seemed to have been through the roof on this one. Like, how badly did you want that win?
A lot. I wanted to win one, and I wanted to beat, Team Cognition. So, I wanted that. But, well done, Luis. I like racing against Luis. It's always good. Him and I have had some good races in Zone T, so it's always good to come up against him.
Well, Nigel, now that you have all the racing behind you, we'll look towards Lake Bend again. Is that all squashed, or do we expect this to continue?
Yeah, Moti and I have kissed and made up in private chats. No worries.
Well, until next time it comes up, Nigel, because these things are never fully squashed on CVRcade. They just linger and linger until the Boogie Monster comes out. But Nigel, congratulations on Country Rally. It's good to have you in here. Let's go and hear from the overall Omnium winner. Luis, congratulations, my friend. It did look like it was up in the air for a bit there. What were you thinking when you crashed on the first lap?
Well, I saw Nigel using inertia and was coming fast, and in my mind I was like, okay, I gotta pull a Nigel here because he's blocked me a few times when I've had inertia coming right behind him. So I think I blocked him once, but then I reacted too slowly for the second block. So by the time that I tried to block him again, he was already on the left lane. So I just crashed. But managed to come back, luckily.
Now, that looked like you got Claudius, you got Nigel. There's 1 point. At one point in the race, there was 1 point between the top three there. How do you keep your head cool? How do you not start to panic when you see all that work just start to fade away?
Well, I definitely panicked for a bit when I crashed. So I sprinted for a bit, but then I was like, okay, I just gotta, keep it a steady tempo, just right above threshold. It was right at the beginning of the race, so I knew I had 4 laps to play with, and also great teamwork as I saw Marty come in front of me, and so that gave me a little motivation to chase him. And then the guys in the back were also finding out the point. So it was just a combination of working with the team and trying to just keep a steady tempo.
Well, one's last time here, Luis. Congratulations, taking the Omnium victory here, rounding off the week of run-up racing. Let's go and chat with your teammate, Sebastian Kuhn. I mean, that was just the highlight of my week. Watching you two figure out the racing, seeing Claudius earlier today and now here. But my question is, what made Claudius come back and do a second zone here tonight? Oh.
I must ask him.
Feel free.
Warum eine zweites Rennen heute? Weil jetzt funktioniert. His answer is, it works now.
Oh, it works now. Well, ask him now that it works. What was the experience like?
Wie war die Erfahrung?
Schwierig zu lenken.
Was?
Schwierig richtig zu lenken.
It's difficult to steer right.
Well, it sounds like he's gonna need one of those handlebar controls. But Sep, also you today, you brought out full force. Like the first Omnium to you and the second Omnium. I mean, you look like you're finding your form right up to the World Cup now.
Yeah, I felt good and was lucky today.
You were lucky today.
Yeah.
How
I
so?
was lucky that I had a lot of teammates, did a great teamwork. So when I was alone, I would not have been so in front.
I like how you chalk that up to luck. Just like how you chalk your skill on low skill events. Sebastian, one of the most humble people on the platform. I hope you enjoy your Saturday evening. It was good to watch you race out there. Awesome to watch. Let's get a word from a man we don't often, or at least I don't often get to chat to if Daniel is here, because usually Daniel races Zone T. Daniel, the racing today, how did you enjoy it?
It was pretty good. I'm not so great at the super long power courses. I'm more of a technical course kind of guy when I stay upright. So Lakeview Bend just killed me. But overall, it was pretty fun. It was good to see Team Cognition in such big numbers. And Nigel out here again, as always. He's always fun to watch race. So it's a good time. Claudius is just a beast. Holy cow.
No words. I think those words sum it up quite accurately. But Daniel, what's it like to no longer be on rollers? Because I miss waking up in the morning, watching the highlights, and seeing you on rollers. That used to make my day.
It's good. I like being back on the trainer. It's better for power. I can be a little more competitive, but I think every now and then I'm still going to bust out the rollers and just do a fun race because it's a good workout. Different muscle groups are engaged, and yeah, it's just good fun. So probably try and do that. I think CVR needs to do a roller derby and have an all roller contest one of these days. But
yes, if you can arrange that, if you can find a group of people fun enough to do that, I would gladly broadcast it. But Daniel, I do believe it was your birthday this last week. What did you do to celebrate your turning of age?
I ate a whole lot of bad food. So Thursday was kind of a rough race. I ended up making a giant pot of risotto and eating most of it, and pizza and all sorts of good stuff. So,
well, it sounds like you celebrated just the way to do it, Daniel. But once again, happy birthday, my friend. I hope that it was everything you could ask for. I look forward to seeing you and Cognition more in these coming weeks as we get ready for the CVRcade World Cup to start February 15. Let's get the final word of the day from the man. Well, actually, he's just gone off. I'm not sure if Moti P. Kilney is still around, but we've just got his bicycle to look at as we see Louis. He goes back into the frame. Moti, you put all of Cognition together. You have such a strong team. Looking forward to the CVRcade World Cup. What is your feelings? What are your thoughts on Cognition?
We're very, very excited. We think it's going to be an amazing series of cups and racing. We're going to have lots of people in all of the various zones, lots of teamwork, and we're chatting now about how to best work together. And this was good practice today, good racing, really fun race. Wait, hold on.
Is this like when you get like told at the Oscars your speech is too long and you've got to get off the stage?
She's trying the accordion power up, but I'm no longer racing, so it's not helping my avatar. So yeah, no, we're so excited about the racing. Lila, say good night, Jesper.
Good night. I hope you have a good night as well. Well, Moti, I'll let you deal with the accordion. I'm not sure what the accordion power would do in the game. I'm not necessarily sure it'd be a positive power up, but I guess to each their own. Moti P. Kilney, Team Cognition team leader. So next week is going to be a bit of fun. I think the streaming will be different. I think only Zones T will be streamed on Tuesday and Thursday, as I and Beth will be out of the office. But I believe our very own Aaron Starlin will come in and take over for Zones T on Tuesdays and Thursday. I'm excited to see how that pans out. I know Aaron is very capable of it, so we're leaving it in great hands. The CVRcade World Cup, the CVRcade Derny Cup, and the CVRcade Solo Cup are literally weeks away now. $30,000 for the overall prize purse, $15,000 for the CVRcade World Cup, $10,000 for the CVRcade Solo Cup, and $5,000 for the CVRcade Derny Cup. And in the Derny Cup, you don't even need to ride your bike. You can get on as a keyboarder, pair up with a physical rider, and without ever having to pedal, you can race and you can be within a chance of winning some serious prize money on CVRcade Racing here. So there will be streaming. Next week. It just won't be me and Beth. There will be, Aaron Starlin who'll do Zones T. So everybody, I hope you've had a great Saturday here. We had Zone E, won by Nils. We had Zone K and L. I can't wait to see what the next week and the weeks are going to bring, because as, you know, the prize money starts coming in, the races gets more serious. You heard Nigel Doyle versus Luis versus Moti. It's gonna get heated. It's gonna get even spicier. It's time for some salt and pepper on this thing. But until then, I hope you all have a great weekend. But no, Beth, yours goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.